So I will start by introducing how I personally got into this research topic. During my bachelor's degree, my college had a lot of students with disabilities. Surprisingly, the institute or the buildings in the institute lack ramps. The library was on the first floor. There was no elevator. There were no audiobooks available. But the thing was, what struck me was how these problems or issues were considered pretty normal. No one seemed to care about the accessibility issues. So this started me thinking, why is this being normal, especially among college students who are known to rebel against the system? So that curiosity led me to explore the world of school knowledge or textbook knowledge, especially textbook knowledge. This research paper, as mentioned in the title, it explored the underlying ableist discourse which has been reproduced through textbook knowledge, which is taken for granted. As we know, knowledge comes with power. They both are inextricably linked, forming a complex relationship that shapes societies and individuals. This dynamic interplay, explored by scholars like Foucault, reveals the influential role of knowledge in shaping power dynamics and constructing societal realities. Knowledge has a tricky power. It works by making the real world seem simpler than it really is, and then convincing everyone that this simplified version is the truth, even if it might not be good for everyone. So the discursive power struggles to shape what people believe is real and spread its version of reality everywhere. Taking up the question of whose knowledge becomes socially legitimate in society has advanced significantly over the years. However, in the context of South India, very little attention has been paid to the one artifact that plays a significant role in defining whose culture is taught. That is the textbook. So, for moving on with the presentation, I need to define two of the terms I will be using. One is SCRT, which is the short form of State Council for Education, Research and Training. This council is concerned with the academic aspects of school education. They prepare textbooks and teachers' handbooks. They also conduct training for teachers. They even advise the government on policy matters. Another term I will be using is Kerala Padavali. Kerala Padavali, here Kerala is a South Indian state. And Padavali literally translates to curriculum. So which means Kerala Padavali is a set of textbooks which will be used to introduce Kerala's culture to the students. So I will be sociologically analyzing the Kerala Padavali textbooks for class 8, 9 and 10. And here the concept of ableism used in this research denotes how the discrimination towards individuals with disabilities are through stigmatizing ideas, attitudes and behaviors. So as scholars like Michelle Apple has pointed out, the school curriculum is not neutral knowledge. What counts as legitimate knowledge for education results from complex power relations and struggle among identifiable class, caste, race, gender and religious groups. The educational system in contemporary India is exclusively based on textbooks, and we are exercising a textbook culture in practice, which means academic knowledge gets produced or reproduced through the curriculum in general and the textbook in particular. In the process of this, several ideas remain alien to text. For instance, when we consider history, some events and occurrences fail to be reproduced or are misrepresented in textbooks, resulting in a lack of knowledge about marginalized communities and culture. So it is crucial to recognize that these knowledge sources are not free from power dynamics related to caste, class, gender, and sexuality. However, the primary emphasis of this research paper lies in understanding the construction of an ableist discourse within these textbooks and how disability is misrepresented. The method of the study is intended to be sociological. The main focus, as I mentioned, will be the discourse analysis of SCRT, Kerala Padavali, Malayalam language textbooks of class 8, 9 and 10. Textbooks, as I stated earlier, are not merely static compilations. They are dynamic, influenced by various actors like publishers, authors, editors, and reviewers. Market pressures, political ideologies, and cultural norms have tug at these actors, steering content towards what sells or aligns with the dominant values. So moving closer, we explore the SCRT Malayalam High School textbook. These textbooks not only nurture language skills but also act as a window into Kerala's rich cultural tapestry. Yet, as we shift our focus to the representation of disability in these textbooks, a disconcerting narrative unfolds. Characters with disabilities are depicted with a lens that indicates weakness, dependence, and societal burden. The language employed, laden with negative connotations, evokes sympathy, evokes sympathy and reinforces harmful stereotypes. Disability is portrayed as exceptional, abnormal, regulating real-life achievements like Stephen Hawking's scientific contribution to secondary importance. So here, this is in Malayalam language. This is a column about Stephen Hawking. And I have highlighted some words. So the first word I have highlighted, it is the very second sentence which introduces Stephen Hawking. So the word I highlighted is Odukkapetta in Malayalam, which literally translates to restricted to. So he is introduced as a person who is restricted to his wheelchair. And the next sentence is Nissahaya Avastha, which translates to helplessness. Like he is very helpless in his life. And the last thing is how his willpower has made him overcome their physical impairment. So another one lesson is Kuppivalagal. It is a lesson about a character named Kannamma. The story of Kannamma, a blind orphan, which unfolds with troubling stereotypes. She is depicted as helpless, always needing assistance to navigate her surroundings. Her lack of autonomy and agency is palpable, reducing her to an object for display, evoking sympathy rather than understanding. Another one is Kalippaval, another chapter. So it is a story about a character who faces psychiatric disability. This narrative takes a dark turn. I can show you the picture. So this is the picture of the character depicted in the textbook. His name is Mohammed Arika. He is a character who faces psychiatric disability, who is chained and isolated. His condition attributed to demonic influence, reflecting societal views that stigmatize mental health. The story implies that confining individuals with psychiatric disabilities is a norm, reinforcing harmful practices. Adding to these problematic narratives, chapters titled Irutinte Atmavu, which means soul of the night, or Maranamettunna Vadilnippuram, which means death is next door, echo similar themes. In these stories, families view disability as a curse, burdened by fate or divine retribution. This not only deepens societal misconceptions, but also reinforces the idea that individuals with disabilities are dependent and a burden on their families. Another lesson was Jeevitham Oru Prarthana, which means life a prayer. It attempts to explore relationship between a widowed man and his aides. However, the undertones of anxiety about aging and dependence perpetuate the narrative that disability equates to helplessness. This story too lacks a nuanced portrayal of disability, focusing more on the fears associated with aging. Lastly, a story about a widowed woman living alone. Her determination to avoid dependency on her children is admirable, but the story lacks a nuanced exploration of the challenges she might face. The narrative tends to romanticize her independence without delving into the societal barriers she might encounter. So, in all these chapters, an underlying narrative is that the dependency is attributed solely with disability or aging. In conclusion, the examination of disability representation in Kerala's textbook reveals a pressing need for transformation in educational discourse. The stories analyzed consistently reinforce ableist stereotypes, perpetuating harmful narratives that cast individuals with disabilities as dependent, helpless, or even cursed. These narratives not only shape societal perception, but also contribute to the marginalization of disabled individuals, hindering the progress toward a truly inclusive and empathetic society. By focusing on dependency and framing disability as a burden, these textbooks miss the opportunity to foster a comprehensive understanding of the diverse lived experience within the disability community. Thank you all for your time.